Okay, everybody, let's get back to the story. I spoke the last time about forgiveness, and I think some of you have gotten it wrong. You know, a lot of people tell us that you have to forgive and forget. You're never going to forget. You're not going to forget that pain. You're not going to forget how you feel. You're not going to forget what happened, what they did to you. You're not going to forget. And it's not about forgetting, it's about being free. That's what it's about. um, and still today I have to say, and remind myself, because things can come up and it can try to take me back there. It can take me back to that moment. Although it's been some time, it was such a place of fear that I can go back there, and all that bitterness, if I allow it to take root, will come back up in me. And I just refuse to do that. I want to live the life that God has for me. And so forgiving, it, like I said, it was hard. It was a process. It's not something that happened overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. And I realized that me just saying it was one thing. I remember having to go to the housing authority, and that's where my husband had worked when we were married. So that was our livelihood. And now here I am, um, having to go because I was at a place where I was ready to be on my own and try to move out. Didn't have a job, didn't have the use of my arm still, and really didn't know where to start. And somebody mentioned the housing authority, public housing, and I was just like, I'm gonna be honest, it was my pride at first. Like, I'm not going to be staying in no public housing. And also his co-workers were there, and I thought, a lot of times that this was our livelihood. When we had a home, this is how we paid it. And now I'm going here to get help. And so when I went, I sat in the car for like an hour crying because I just could not believe that now I was going to be a client at the housing authority, that I was going to put in paperwork to try to get housing. And I just, and so that, I could feel the bitterness rising again because I'm in this situation because of what someone done to me. And God, as always, was there to speak to me, and to let me know that this was a stepping stone, and it's how you use it. What are you going to do? I'm not saying that you have to go and be on public housing forever, but it's a stepping stone if you want a new beginning. This is the way. This is the path. This is the journey. And so I had to make sure that I kept that bitterness and resentment down. That I was intentionally um, aware of my emotions. And so me saying that I forgive him was not about me forgiving what he did. It was about setting me free because I was so wrapped and so bound in that anger and bitterness, and it held me down. So, you know, who do you need to forgive? If you need to forgive someone, put their name in the comment, just their initial. You don't even have to put their name, just put their initial in the comment, and we can begin to pray about you releasing that. Releasing that resentment and holding on to it, because it's not doing anything for you. It's just, you're just wound up, you're just tied up, you bound. And I know, I'm telling you, I know, if I can forgive someone for blowing my life up in 20 minutes, being so selfish and shooting me in my head, and I had to start over. But God was there with me every step of the way. And it was a process, and I didn't see it at the time because I was in so much pain and I had so much resentment and bitterness and unforgiveness in me. And as I intentionally worked on it, I became free. I am free. Like, I am free now, free. And it comes from the joy of the Lord. That's where it comes from. Nothing else. It comes from the joy of the Lord. I can look at my hand clawed. I can look at my scars on the side of my face and be like, but God, but God. That's all that matters to me. That keeps me in that place of freedom. I am free. I am free of anger and bitterness and hurt and pain and, condemnation and guilt and shame. And I'm free of it. I'm free. I'll never forget, but I am free. And I want you to be free too.